Watch out for cash money, cause we landed down. Money making is my thing, cause I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals. That's why I'm in the studio dropping hits, dropping rap after rap like you sell key after key. Backed up by the best fresh, dropping beat after beat. My clique is the hot boys, best believe we so high and dangerous. If we ain't beef with the whole block. No fading us at all, player, cause we roll too deep. With AKs off safety, knocking busters off their feet. I go by the name of BG. I ride on chrome and then I 8 like CS3. I bust it down for baby on this B3. Because I know one thing, he'll do the same for me. We family, cash money is the homie, better get a navy. So if you ever play a heavy, look here, it ain't gravy. Don't try to knock me, player, cause I'll leave your head stale. Light you up real good, you will never get well. Cash money is the homie, better get a navy. So if you ever play heavy, for you it ain't gravy. Cash money is the homie, better get a navy. So if you ever play heavy, for you it ain't gravy.
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones, and I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. State of the Saints is an army, better get that Navy, so if you ever play a hit, don't act like it's green. Thank y'all so much for being here, man. I really do appreciate it. Much love to you. Much love to you. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Happy college football 25 day to everybody out there. Yes, sir. Around my time, we're about 2 hours away from the release of the highly touted college football 25, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. After I cut my grass today, after I get the little workout in, get the arms right, I'm going to be playing the game all night. I already told my wife, so she understands. But thank y'all so much for being here. Shouts out to everybody in the chat. Shouts out to everybody that's listening, no matter where you are, wherever you may be. And, of course, those that can't make it, bless you, bless you. Shouts out to the after show boys.
Shouts out, shouts out, shouts out, shouts out, shouts out. To them after show boys, shouts out, shouts out, shouts out, shouts out, shouts out. To them after show boys, they be tweeting and be posting, they be tweeting and be posting, they be tweeting. Yeah, them after show boys, they be tweeting and be posting, they be tweeting and be posting, they be tweeting. Yeah, them after show boys.
Yeah, shouts out to all the after show boys, after show girls out there. Shouts out to you. Rashad, I just want to make this very, very clear. I'm just want to make this very, very clear. I see he says you wasn't going to pre-order. Let me make this very, very clear. I wasn't going to pre-order this. It just kind of happened that way, and allow me to elaborate here. When I was ordering it, I didn't realize it, right? I didn't realize that because I was looking. Okay, so if you're on Xbox Series X, right? So there's like different options, right? So I clicked the one that was to the right of the one that had Madden and college football, right? So when I was actually going through my PayPal, I noticed that I ordered it pre-ordered. I'm like, okay, so I guess I got it today, you know. But regardless, like I will say this, man, before I even realized it, like they got me. I ain't gonna lie to you. They got me. Like just looking at all them different videos, Rashad, just looking at all that stuff, they got you, boy. They got me. They got me. But it just ends up lining up that way. They definitely got me though. They definitely got me. But let's talk a little bit about some of the topics that we're going to be addressing here today. But before I get started, man, I got to acknowledge this right here. I got to acknowledge this. I want to say rest in peace to Jacoby Jones. Rest in peace to Jacoby Jones. He was a New Orleans native. I'm pretty sure everybody on here know Jacoby Jones. He played for the Baltimore Ravens, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Chargers. But we know about him winning the Super Bowl in New Orleans with the Baltimore Ravens. To me, he should have been Super Bowl MVP. He had a 108-yard return for a touchdown. He had a 52-yard touchdown. As a matter of fact, the Baltimore Ravens wouldn't even been in the Super Bowl if it wasn't for Jacoby Jones. Y'all remember that late game against the Denver Broncos? He got behind the defense, caught that 70-yard touchdown, and allowed the Baltimore Ravens to go to the AFC. I want to say the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl, one or the other. But that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Jacoby. I know Jacoby. I knew him. 3 years of my life, I was a part of UNO, which is the University of New Orleans Upward Bound program. And every summer, Jacoby would be one of the tutors that they have there. So Jacoby was one of my tutors. I don't think I would have been able to pass the leap test if it wasn't for that dude. Like, to be honest with you, like he really helped me out quite a bit. And like he always was a good person. I got a funny story, man, because I didn't know that Jacoby Jones was like, I didn't know he was like as good in football as he was, man. So I used to joke around with him, like when I see him, he was always talking about how fast he was, and I always wanted to race him. Like I always wanted to race him, and I can remember like I finally got the opportunity to do it, and your boy dust me. I mean, like it wasn't even close. I don't want to say it wasn't close. I don't want to say that, but he got the job done. But but he always was a good person, man. Like always had a smile on his face. Like he had like one of them personalities, like he'll joke around with you a little bit, but like if you ain't know his personality, you'll think he was a little bit serious sometimes. But anybody that ever met this dude, I guarantee they got a positive story. Dude was always very positive, very inspirational. So that hurt me when I found out that he passed away on yesterday, man. I can remember looking up to that guy. That guy was one of my first heroes, being a kid, because he was just so good at everything. So rest in peace to Jacoby Jones. Shouts out to his family. My prayers go out to them during this tough time. And the city of New Orleans, they lost a really good guy. So rest in peace to Jacoby Jones. I just had to let that be known. But let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk a little bit about Marshon Lattimore getting snubbed here. Look, I just think that this is just absolutely ridiculous. Honestly, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous that we continuously have these type of conversations. And, the worst thing about it is we know why. We know why. We know why we're having these conversations. Another New Orleans Saint player that is very good, top of the line, top tier of his craft, top when it comes to his position, getting snubbed yet again. I looked at this top 10 list that Fox Sports put out, and I'm not saying that none of these guys deserve to be on this list. I really don't. There's quite a few guys that are on this list, and I'm going to go ahead and pull it up so y'all can see it, so I can share it with you all for those that didn't. But Fox Sports did a top 10 list of the top cornerbacks in the National Football League. And, anytime that you do list, there's always going to be, people that feel like they got shortchanged, or, they feel like they got, the short end of the stick. But when I look at this list, man, I mean, it's just very telling to me. But I'll go ahead and pull it up. Hopefully everybody can see that. And you see the top 10. They got Sauce Gardner, they got Patrick Surtain, they got Jair Alexander, Darius Slay, Jalen Ramsey, Trayvon Diggs, Denzel Ward, Tariq Woolen, Stephon Gilmore, Xavier Howard, and Marshon Lattimore as honorable mention. Now, I know some people are probably going to say to themselves, you know what they're going to say? The first thing they're going to say is, well, what about Marshon Lattimore? Marshon Lattimore is always hurt, But what about Trayvon Diggs? Trayvon Diggs missed the entire season. He didn't play the entire season, and they still have him as a top 10 cornerback in the league. You look at Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is not the same cornerback that he was when he was playing for Jacksonville and even for the Rams, but he still seems to be on his list. The point of making of this video, I don't think Stephon Gilmore even has a team that he plays on right now, but he's in the top 10. You got Xavier Howard out there, which I ain't got no problem with, but I mean, he's one of those, touch and go type guys as well. Jair Alexander, pretty decent player, had some injuries throughout the season. So if we want to evaluate that, let's go ahead and do that. Darius Slay, I mean, do I need to tell you how bad the secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles was last season? But you have Marshon Lattimore ranked number 11. It just seems to me, Who Dat Nation, that other teams with players get the benefit of the doubt. And I don't know if y'all see a constant trend here, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. It seems to me like these lists are trying to appease big media market fans. I'm going to say that again. It seems to me that these lists that they put out, they're trying to appease big market fans. I don't understand how can someone who is in their second year, going into their second year in the National Football League, and Sauce Gardner can be the best cornerback in the entire league. And you know what, Who Dat Nation? I ain't got nothing against Sauce Gardner. I think that he's extremely talented. I think that he is one of the best corners in the league. But it seems to me like they are trying to rush this process. Number one is because you have a lockdown corner in the city of New York. It's just that plain and simple. In the state of New York. You know what I'm saying? Like they have, a top-notch cornerback in the league. You know what I'm saying? They got a top-notch cornerback, so they want to hold on to that. All of these guys, to me, you look at Trayvon Diggs. Who does he play for? The Dallas Cowboys. Stephon Gilmore. Who was the last team that he played for? The Dallas Cowboys. Darius Slay. Who does he play for? The Philadelphia Eagles. So it seems to me there's this trend where they're trying to elevate players that play in big media markets, or they try to make it seem like the players that are doing it at a high level and more smaller markets aren't worth talking about. So I did a little bit of an investigation. Y'all know me, man. I ain't about to just sit behind this microphone and just start talking and just running off at the mouth. Yeah, I'm not a Falcon fan. Y'all know how Falcon fans roll. They just start blurting stuff out and hope they right. But here's the thing. When you evaluate Sauce Gardner and Marshon Lattimore, I'm going to read Sauce Gardner's stats, and right now I'm going to pull up Marshon Lattimore's stats, courtesy of PFF, right? All right, so I can't put them both side by side, so I'm going to go ahead and read it to you, and I just encourage you all to go to PFF and find out for yourself. So Marshon Lattimore in 2023. Now, I know that he missed what did he miss, 6 games or 7 games? Because he got hurt, week 10. So I think he missed maybe 7 games? So he missed 7 games. So in the 10 games that he played in, Marshon Lattimore had 41 solo tackles, 1 interception. He was targeted. He had 46 targets, and he allowed 27 receptions. All right, let's just stay with the targets and the receptions allowed. I know that was a lot. He was targeted that means he was thrown at 46 times, and the receptions allowed was 27. Sauce Gardner was targeted 51 times, and he allowed 29 of them. So I know that's not a huge discrepancy, but that's my whole point. It's not a huge discrepancy. So how can you elevate one person and say, oh, they had this stat line, and then not look at somebody else's stat line and what they did? Now, I'm not saying that he should be number 2, but to say that Marshon Lattimore doesn't deserve to be in the top 10 at all, even if you were to do it analytically, let's just say, for example, Marshon Lattimore played those 7 games. Let's just say Marshon Lattimore finished out the season. I'm pretty sure there's some math that we can do to say what his stat line would be based on, those 10 games. And even if you were to do that, that means that more than likely he still would have been ranked in the top 10. So all I'm saying is it just does not make sense that you would put this man out of the top 10 and you're bringing in individuals. Had some noise in my ear. So when you evaluate this whole entire list, you can clearly see that it's biased. And this is the problem that I have when it comes to some of these lists, because people are just trying to make certain fan bases happy. And I get it, right? Like we gotta understand that these fan bases are rabid. And yes, you know, they talk about these teams because they know that it's going to give them the ratings that they're looking for. But at the same time, you're doing it at the expense of players that are good, but they just so happen to play in markets that are not, you know, as huge as a New York, huge as a Philadelphia, huge as a DC. And that's just mad disrespectful right there. And that's something that really, truly bothers me. And that's something that I just can't roll with. Even when I'm doing a Gumbo Pie Sports podcast, I am not just doing podcasts based on the fact of certain popularity. But you can't do this based on a popularity contest and expect for people to believe that. And of course, they did exactly what they wanted to do, because we all know what the main objective was. The main objective was to have individuals like myself create podcasts like this. But I just don't think that you should question the intelligence of NFL fans. And honestly, like it's no different than what you see in politics. People say and do all type of things just to try to make individuals happy. They don't care what they're trying to say. They don't care what type of promises that they throw out there. As long as their base is happy, they're satisfied with it. And as long as you can put a Philadelphia Eagle in that thing, a Dallas Cowboy off in that thing, a New York Jet, a New York Giant, as long as you can put one of those teams that are, you know, real big with nostalgia, they was hoping that they can put a Pittsburgh Steelers on that list. It is absolutely embarrassing that I'm having a show about a guy in Marshon Lattimore who has constantly, throughout his entire career, has been considered a top 5 cornerback in the National Football League, and then all of a sudden he gets hurt, and then people just act like he forgot how to play the position. But the individuals that you're putting on the list have been hurt. Trayvon Diggs, once again, was out for the season. Jair Alexander, I mean, he was out there playing, but he was injured late through the season. And Darius Slay in that secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles, man, I just did a breakdown of the Philadelphia Eagles on the Gumbo Pie. Man, that secondary was trash. That entire secondary basically got overhauled. So if he liked that, then why in the world are they out there changing around the secondary? And you can say, well, that's just the secondary. That's not Darius Slay. Go look at Darius Slay and watch how he played last season. Lackluster, to say the least. Not to say that Darius Slay isn't good. He is. But if we're evaluating this and saying that he's still top 10 if he has a down season, then what can you say about Marshon Lattimore? So you're looking at the fact that Marshon Lattimore was hurt, and you're saying, well, you know, you should be in the room, but we had the, you know, they're grading on the curve here. So Marshon Lattimore is a top 10 corner. I don't care what anybody says. If you don't think that Marshon Lattimore is a top 10 corner, it's probably because you're so busy chasing after those Philadelphia Eagles and New York Giant ambulances out there. The reality is this dude is one of the best cornerbacks in the entire league. He's the greatest cornerback in New Orleans Saints history. And just the fact that he just got hurt over the last couple of years, that's why you're saying that he's not good anymore. I just don't believe that. I just don't believe that. And quite honestly, you can go back and look at it, his numbers statistically. Last season, he put up some of his best numbers of his entire career. So if you're not going to give him the credit after he put up some of the best numbers in his entire career, how in the hell can you even say that he's top 10, period? You're going to disregard his top performance of his entire career, probably for the exception of his rookie year. And you're going to say he don't belong in the top 10? I don't know, man. It's like a guy who was in the room for quite some time, like, oh, he could possibly be one of the best basketball players in the entire world. Then all of a sudden, like, this dude take his team to the Western Conference or Eastern Conference Finals or to the finals, and then all of a sudden, yeah, he did that, but I'm still going to keep him where he is. Matter of fact, I'm going to rank him lower than he's been. This is a popularity contest right here. Like, if you're going to do stuff like this, like, just rip it up. And this is the problem that I have. Like, people just be saying ish just to say it. Like, just to try to make people happy. Like, if I have like a viral moment, or if my content gets some type of clicks, you best believe it's organic. It's real. It's genuine. It's true. People just be saying stuff just to say it. Throwing stuff against the wall, hope that it stick. That is what bothers me the most. And when you make lists like this, you know what it's about. You know that you're trying to appease a certain market, all the while trying to get those clicks because people are outraged, like myself talking on these podcasts. But put some respect on Marshon Lattimore's name. I'm not disrespecting any of those players out there. They all deserve to be some of the top players, but I can think of a few guys on that list that Marshon Lattimore is indeed better than. All right, so but anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Let me go ahead and read some of your comments out there. Thank y'all for being here. Jared says, TJ, thank you for the gift. I appreciate it. I got it in the mail Saturday. Well, Jerry, I'm glad that you enjoy the gift, man. I really do appreciate the love and support you show to the State of the Saints, of course. And I'm glad you like it, man. I appreciate you, being here since the beginning. You picked the perfect time to go live now. Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. You think, look, I was born at night, not last night. I already told y'all. After I cut the grass, when I go home after I cut the grass, man, ain't much content going to be going on. Ain't much content going to be going on. I don't know how I just did that. How did I do that? How did I just do? Y'all seen that? I don't know how I did that. I don't know how I did that, man, but that was pretty cool. But anyway, after I put this content out, man, after 4 o'clock, after I cut the grass, man, and go to the gym a little bit, I'm done. I'm done for the day. All right, so get y'all get it while supplies last. Red beans and rice day. Who that? B Jizzle. Yeah, man, I gotta give love to BG out here. I already mentioned that. Let's see, TJ, you bought the standard edition. No, I didn't. Look, I thought I bought the standard edition. I really did. But like I said, if you go into the Microsoft store, I'm losing some of y'all. I know we got to get back to football. If you go to the Microsoft store, I seen the Madden College Football bundle. I'm like, nope, $130, nope. And then I clicked the one next to it, and it just so happened that it had a pre-order anyway, and I have EA Play, so I would have got a pre-order anyway. I think that's how it works. I think if you have EA Play, then they let you play the game early. So anyway, yeah. But yeah, I'm playing today. Sue me. What college football team are you going to start out with when you play the game for the first time? Man, I'm rolling with them Coastal Carolina Shanks, because Coastal Carolina, first off, everybody know I live in Myrtle Beach. I live probably 10 minutes away from the university. And like some of these other places out here, Coastal Carolina actually gave your boy opportunity to work sidelines, to be able to write articles. Shouts out to Mr. Royce out there, like giving people opportunities, to be able to do things and work the sidelines and all that. So Coastal Carolina is my squad, so that's the team I'm going to be rocking with when I start playing, So plus, on top of that, you get opportunity like to know these dudes and, talk to them and stuff like that, man. See their families on the sideline. So it kind of hit different, So shouts out to them Shants out there. Shouts out to Teal Nation. It's ridiculous, TJ. Yeah, it is ridiculous. I got receipts. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Marshon does too. That list is hot garbage, TJ. We all know that. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that it's garbage. Like, you can understand, like, some of the guys being on the list, but I think a lot of those players, Jerry, are on that list because of who they play for, not so much about how they play. All right? Speaking of players, I'm breaking down players and teams on the Gumbo Pod Sports Podcast. We're doing 32 teams in 32 days. And if you haven't subscribed to the Gumbo Pod Sports Podcast already, I don't know why. We working hard over there, man. We putting out real solid content, daily content. And, we got a video that's up right now that I just put out breaking down the Buffalo Bills. So we've been talking about we focused on the NFC East first. Now we on the AFC East. We did the Buffalo Bills, and then tomorrow we got the Miami Dolphins coming out. So, man, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. I put the link down in the comments. So click on the link and subscribe to the channel. And we hit 500 subs, man. We hit 500 subs. So thank you to everybody that subscribed to that channel. So these lists are a popularity contest. Yeah, pretty much. Some guys deserve to be on the list, but I just feel like some players get on the list because of who they play for. If they are if you can make a argument, at least something somewhat legitimate, they're going to put you on the list if you play for a big market. They are not going to sub out someone that is, a conversation starter over someone that probably is better than them that plays in a smaller market. If you play for the Jets and you middle of the pack, they're going to put you on the list more than likely. And if you play for someone like the Jaguars or the Saints or even the Falcons or something like that, and you're doing it in a big way, they ain't gonna put you on that list because they don't want to. Ain't nobody want to hear. I guess nobody want to hear about the Saints or the Jacksonville Jaguars if you can talk about the Jets and the Giants. Yeah. TJ, last time I checked, these lists are supposed to be based on statistics and a player's skill, not fan popularity. That's why I don't take these lists like this serious. I don't take the list serious anyway, because especially when the ins and outs of why people do the things that they do. Y'all know me, man. I mean, I've worked in radio and broadcasting. I mean, this is my 6th year here at the radio station that I'm at right now. But, I've been around this stuff for so long. And then when you get opportunity to meet some of these people and, you establish these relationships, you get the real deal Holyfield. This is about a popularity contest. These producers, these presidents, these executives care about ratings. That's why you see these talking heads that's willing to do everything that they can to try to stay relevant and stay on TV, like Emmanuel Acho, who will be a do boy no matter what happened. Yes, I just said that because I don't believe him. I don't feel like he's legit. That he can to try to be what Nate Burleson is or what Michael Strahan is. And it just comes off as him being fake and phony. Jason McIntyre is another person. Some of these guys, I just feel like they just put on TV. They just want to say anything because they want to, they will clout chase their way to the top. Right. And kind of just snub you when they get there. A lot of fake phony stuff going on. So I have no respect for that. You got some people out there, I feel like they be real with the things that they say. They passionate behind their content and their rhetoric. But, man, this is about ratings. This is about trying to get your own show. This is about getting a popular podcast. This is about sitting next to Gayle King on the Today Show. This is what this is about. And a lot of fakery going on. So, I ain't trying to be on that fakery like Emmanuel Acho and them is. The link in the chat is my YouTube short video I did for TJ Jones from the gift I received over the weekend. Well, Jerry, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. You okay?
Yes.
Okay. Got my boy. Put your shirt down, man. Nobody want to see your belly. You just woke up from his nap.
Thanks, Daddy.
All right. You can sit right there, okay? We finishing up the show. All right, let's see. Diggs get burned more times than not. The interception washed away the play he allows. Yeah, he definitely is a feast of famine type cornerback. Yeah, that's what he is. It's going to be a big time play. Okay. It's a big time play. It's going to be a big time play. It's going to be a big time play for the other team, one or the other. Marshon got to be injury free for a little bit in order to be one of the big dogs again. Man, look, that ain't no deal breakers. Because them dudes on that list right there been hurt too. They've been on Jalen Ramsey has been hurt, missed several games. Several games. Like we can't just put up here like that's what they want you to believe. They want you to put in this big injury boat. But going back and like do your research and look at those players and see how many games they played in. Stephon Gilmore has been injured just as much as Marshon Lattimore has. But ain't nobody talking about that. I mean, I guess you have to give him the notch because he was defensive player of the year. But we don't supposed to be talking about what have you done for me lately, right? Because if that's the case, Marshon Lattimore would be on the list. So we can't just say, oh, well, you weren't injured. Like some of those guys on the list, like ain't played much either. They ain't played much. So we giving guys like we'll look past Trayvon Diggs being out for the season. But we'll look past that because he played for the Cowboys. Like, man, give me a break. Like, come on, man. I know Marshon Lattimore ain't been, he ain't played a full season and stuff, but to say that dude don't deserve to be on that list or does he hurt? Like, man, go look at that list and go look at games played for those players. Like we stop. Let's stop accepting what these people just give us. You're absolutely right. National media just looking for clicks is why the Cowboys are pumped up every year for the last 2 decades and have little to nothing to show for it. Absolutely. Absolutely. If it was like it's a popularity contest. And it's not even hate. Like, that's the thing, man. That's another problem I have. When people start speaking truth, then all of a sudden you're a hater. Why would you be hating on the Dallas Cowboys? They ain't did nothing. But they won a bunch of regular season games. But if that's the case, then the Buffalo Bills need to be talked about just as much as them. Like, come on, man. Like, how many teams have won a whole bunch of regular season games? Or, don't have no playoffs to show for it. It's like, to me, it's like talking about the Browns or something. Like, oh, it's going to be our year, and then you don't make the playoffs. Or like, come on, man. This is about popularity. This is about nostalgia. It's the teams that have been holding up the NFL for years. And the reason why they continue to hold up the NFL for years is because the media allows it to happen. That's why I rock with NFL Network. Shouts out to my guy, Steve Weiss. They talk about everybody. You see them sitting down talking to Atlanta Falcon GMs, Carolina Panther GMs, Jacksonville Jaguar GMs. They give every team the benefit of the doubt, the time. But these other shows, man, ESPN, Fox Sports, like, man, come on, man. Like I get it. But let's not make it seem like people want to talk about it. People want to hear about other things. But that's what they say. People want to hear about that. Like, you got to give people something to talk about. Or if you spend the time to make people feel like something is interesting, they'll probably listen. But when you constantly try to talk about the same teams and then you just say, well, people want to hear about it. Do they really? They probably want to hear about it, but not 4 and 5 segments worth of it. I mean, I don't know. We got to be real about this, man. Like I said, man, just a lot of fake boys and corporate stooges out here in these streets, man. A lot of that going on. And I'm not envious of anybody. I am not envious of anybody. This ain't coming from a place of envy from anybody. I live a pretty damn good life. And I'm happy with the things that are going on in my life. But man, a lot of these dudes out here, they just trying to do whatever they can to try to get their own. Fake as a $3 bill. Be anything that you want them to be to get where they want to be. If we gonna get where we want to be, we gonna do it right. TJ, when I hear this is our year every year, that's the Dallas Cowboy fan. Look, I expect for them to have optimism, just like Saints fans have optimism. But I also want a fair and balanced commentary. You don't really know how good Jacksonville is. I keep on using Jacksonville because I look at Jacksonville kind of like middle of the pack. They play in a nice little market that's, Florida, nice market. I keep using them for example because that's kind of like that team, middle of the pack, smaller market, like nice little size city. Like, if you want to hear about what Jacksonville is doing, you got to go do the research yourself. You'll never find out from Fox Sports 1 or ESPN. You'll never find out from them places. You won't. This is about ratings, man. This is about make sure that toothpaste commercials stay paying you on ESPN or Fox. That's what it's about. And I don't feel bad because I have no interest in working at any one of those places. Like I don't want to be on TV, but I just think that you owe it to the general public to give them, give them a little dose of everybody. Like that's honestly why, that's why I'm doing the gumbo pie. Because I just feel like people want to hear about other teams. They want to hear about other stuff going on. You'll never find that out. 3-4 segments of the Dallas Cowboys. Are they going to pay Dak? Are they going to pay Michael Parsons? Are they going to pay CeeDee Lamb? What's going to happen with Mike McCarthy? Good night, everybody. Like, what happened with everybody else? Facts, DJ, and you see they trying to move to YouTube now. Yeah, I see that, man. But like I said, man, good luck to him, man. Good luck to him. But you only can fake it for so long. Man, I remember back in the day, Skip and Shannon used to talk about Dallas every morning. Man, honestly, I don't even watch them shows no more. I don't even watch them shows. Like, I watch clips from time to time, but most of the stuff that they do and they put out there is just for people to be outraged about it. Stephen A. yelling to the top of his lungs, oh, Dallas Cowboys, like, come on, man. And you know what I'm saying? I got nothing but respect for Stephen A. Smith, man, but it's just entertainment at the end of the day, man. It's just entertainment at the end of the day. That's it. It's all entertainment. Ain't nobody trying to walk away feeling better or knowing, a little bit more about a team. Because, hell, half of them don't even know. It's their interns that's spending so many hours burning a midnight oil, coming up with research and clever talking points for them to sound like they're intelligent. Said you had TV chances a year ago and you didn't want to do it. You could have done local sports back in Mississippi and you didn't want to. You always wanted your own. Yeah, I mean, yeah, man. So I mean, look, I just feel like this is going in the wrong direction. I'm talking like these shows and podcasts and stuff like that. They're just going in the wrong direction to me. It's just going in the wrong direction. Like, it's not even about like making somebody like walk away from a conversation, walk away from a video, like learning more about what they probably knew about the subject. It's just about a bunch of people giving a bunch of opinionated talk and don't put like no type of like research, nothing like that behind it. None. But it's just about like, if I can talk and say that Dak ain't gonna win nothing or Patrick Mahomes gonna fall off a cliff in 2024, as long as I can get enough clicks, a bunch of style and no substance. We got to get back to the substance, man, and stop worrying so much about the style. But speaking of trying to have style but absolutely no substance, we got to talk about the St. Brown podcast. All right, and for those that don't know what the St. Brown podcast is, two brothers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, the star the star wide receiver of the Detroit Lions, and of course his brother, Equimedius St. Brown, who belongs to the New Orleans Saints at this particular time. They decide to get together and do a podcast. Number one, that's dope, right? When you have a relationship with your brother to a point where y'all can actually do a podcast, and it's good because the chemistry is there. You grew up together. It's the reason why the Kelsey podcast is so successful. The St. Browns are trying to follow suit as well. But to me, it may be going in a little bit of the wrong direction. And it kind of coincides with what I'm talking about when we just trying to get some viral moments. And one of those attempts was by Saints wide receiver Equimedius St. Brown, who has been in New Orleans for, a few months. The Saints signed him a few months ago. He played with the Chicago Bears. I want to say he played with the Green Bay Packers as well. Kind of been a little bit of a journeyman. And, the Saints signed him, and we'll see what happens. But he talked about his experience in New Orleans. He talked a little bit about the experience, the culture, and, of course, the food came up. And this is what he had to say when it came to food in New Orleans. Check it out.
And obviously Saints, and I felt like the Saints was the best fit for me for my career. And I'm glad I went there, spent the offseason there. OTAs was great.
You like the city?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I haven't done much in it yet. I feel like I'll explore more as the season goes on. But I heard food's great. Still have to.
I heard.
I heard. I don't know. I got to know.
Where have you eaten? Like,
I went to Drago's. Someone told me to go there.
What is it? What kind of food? Is it all the same food?
It's like, no, it's
like soul food? Like,
no, like seafood-ish, but I think I'm not going to the right places because a lot of my restaurants I went to is self-research, and I feel like I got to know.
Yeah, but you got to ask the teammates.
I know. I went to Drago's. It was all right. I think people don't understand how good food is in LA. Like, people underestimate it. Like, food in LA is top tier in the world. So I know they say New Orleans has the best food in the world. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying I haven't seen it yet. So hopefully I will see it moving forward.
All right, so there you go right there. Equimedius St. Brown saying that, he hasn't really seen the taste of New Orleans just yet. Now, I will say this, and I played that video because I want to put things into context, right? I don't feel like he's dissing New Orleans altogether, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess he's dissing like his New Orleans food experience at that particular time. All right. So when I look at Equimedius St. Brown, this goes back to my old saying, and I'm pretty sure if you've been rocking with the State of the Saint for quite some time, you know where I'm going with this. If you love New Orleans, it will love you back. If you show yourself disloyal to New Orleans, it will never forgive you. And it will be hard for you to get back in its good graces. That's the main reason why you got people out here right now that's saying that Derek Carr is not going to be anything in 2024. And he hasn't taken a meaningful snap because the season hasn't started yet. It's the reason why Jared Cook, he fumbled that football, even though he had a bunch of good moments as a Saints tight end. People still talk about it and say, get that bum up out of here every time I see him. It's about loyalty. And the thing about it is, Equimedius St. Brown, he has an uphill climb. Number one, I don't think he's going to make the team. I would be shocked if he did. When you look at the depth chart of the Saints receivers, you got Shaheed, you got Olave, you got A.T. Perry, you got Cedric Wilson coming over, you got Bud Means, you got all these different guys that you're going to be battling with. So I don't think that he's going to make the team. Technically, he's a camp body. Now, I could be petty and say it doesn't matter what he thinks about New Orleans food because he probably ain't going to be here long enough to taste it, but I won't go there. The reality is you can't sit up here and go to a restaurant chain like Drago's. I want to say he probably went to the one in the Riverwalk or something like that. First off, anybody that's from the city already knows. If you from New Orleans or you visit New Orleans, everybody knows that all of those little restaurants with the ambiance and the dim light and the feng shui, those are not the best restaurants, and that is not the best food in New Orleans. Just because, somebody come out there with a big old tall Chef Boyardee hat and, in a white coat, and they go out here, they put a little, Salt Bay little thing where you sprinkle the salt off his wrist and all that other stuff right there. We know that those aren't the best eating places. We all know that the best eating places are in the hood. We all know that the best eating places are around Claiborne, like Cajun Seafood, Magnolia Stove. These are the places that you're going to get some of the best food. Matter of fact, if you walk up out of a store or a place or a restaurant and the bag ain't got no grease at the bottom of it, you ain't eating in the best place. I just want to make that very, very clear. If the bag ain't greasy, it ain't it. It ain't it. But of course, like when like, man, these dudes, like, God bless them, man. They got tons of money. So, you feel like you're getting a taste of New Orleans, but you're not. You're not getting a taste of New Orleans, man. You're not. Like these tourists be coming to New Orleans and stuff like this. Oh, I had such a great time. I went to these complicated French restaurants, that nobody know. I went to the Cavalier Vida. Y'all don't know what the heck. Y'all know I can't speak French, but all these different places that sound so exotic. And, you got the dude with the turtleneck that probably own that joint. Look, them ain't no places that you going to have a good eating experience. It's just not. If you from the city, then you know. So my advice to Equimedius is to don't go on your podcast and be talking like this, man. For real. Like, I get it, man. You're trying to get the clicks up. You're trying to get the likes up. You and your brother trying to do the Kelsey thing. I ain't got nothing but respect for your brother. Your brother a dog, man. I ain't gonna lie. Amon-Ra is a dog. He a beast. You, on the other hand, you have an uphill climb, right? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you looking like, you looking like Giannis' brother out here in these streets, right? You got Giannis, and then you got, the brother, what his name is, Giannis, sitting on the bench, riding the pine. He winning championships, missing layups that's right under the rim. That's what you looking like right now. And then you add the fact that you trying to, do this, I don't know, for shock value or something. I don't know. But he did say he didn't, he's not saying that it is. And he talked about California food. I've been to California. California got some good food. I heard they got some decent taco spots. But at the end of the day, man, New Orleans is where it's at when it comes to the food. You ain't touching New Orleans when it comes to the food. And if you ain't have a good eating experience, you probably want to stop eating at some of those chains that make you feel like you're getting the real taste of New Orleans when you're not. The real taste of New Orleans is Cajun seafood on Claiborne. The real taste of New Orleans used to be what? We Never Close off shelf. Like places like that. Like those are some of those good places that you used to eat. Hank's Seafood, Hank's Seafood. I'm talking about places when I was growing up. The corner store. Because they always had that one dude or that one lady back there that can make a hot sausage on French dress to perfection. They should be working at some restaurant somewhere, but of course they ain't get those opportunities. Those are the places that have the real food. Those are the places that you need to go. But of course, might be a little scary for some of those folks out there, man, riding through the night ward in a Bentley, riding through there with that Bentley truck. That's the reason why you just need a riding car, right? You just need a riding car. Don't go out here just flossing and flexing and stuff like that in your Bentley truck. Get that Honda Accord and just ride down to Magnolia. get that Acura and head on down to some of these spots, man. I'm telling you, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to you when they see you. Man, Teddy Bridgewater was riding through the hood on a bike. This man with full Tyrese Jody baby boy out in this joint. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to you. Oh man, that dude played for the Saints, man. That's my guy right there, man. Give a couple dudes dap, let them snap it up with you. They ain't gonna bother you. But just don't go there with no Bentley truck, man. Don't you be trying to act like you own. You know what I'm saying? Like we common folk out in this thing. Get your Acura. Shoot, get that minivan. You know what I'm saying? That you bought for soccer practice, and ride down to the hood. Get to the 9, to the 8 ward, to the 7. Ride down there, man, to these spots, man. I guarantee you're going to have a really good eating experience. But, I listen to the podcast, man. These two brothers, they literally and figuratively, You know, they got some promise there. They got some promise there. You can tell they kind of figuring it out. But at the end of the day, come on, man. Come on, man. You can't talk about like you at least got to put up at least 60 receptions for about 780 yards before you start talking about bad food experiences. You know, that's near and dear to Saint fans and New Orleanians' heart, the food. When they ain't gonna hear, they're not gonna hear, I haven't tried everywhere. What they heard was the food wasn't good. Just want him to be warned, man. Just want him to be warned. Best spots is the hole in the wall places. Absolutely. They scared TJ. That's why I said, Cartel, get yourself that Acura. Get you that Ford Fusion, you know. Get that Astro van. Ride down to the hood, man. The hood, thank you very much for the $2. Said we got the best food. Yep. You already know. Sorry, but Lafayette food better. Boy, if you don't get up out of here with that. That was one of them times I wish I had one of them hair to the Nile on there. Man, hold on, wait a minute. We got to hit them with this. Come on, man. What are we doing, man? Matter of fact, let's do it again. Nah, man. Shouts out to Lafayette. I like Lafayette, you know what I'm saying? Look, if we talking about some boudin balls or some shoot, some I don't know, man, some, you know, some of that, you know, maybe y'all rocking with that's Cajun country right there, but man, y'all ain't touching New Orleans, man. You know, and y'all ain't touching New Orleans when it comes to the food. Get yourself a 1990 Buick Electra. Yeah, you ain't lying. Shoot, get yourself a Chevy Lumina around. Shout out to my boy Smitty, man. Shoot, me and my boy Smitty when he was in college, man. Shoot, he used to ride all around town in that Chevy Lumina, man. Ain't nobody bother us. Ask about I make gumbo jambalaya, stuffed seafood, pepper, etouffee. I'm the real deal. I make lasagna. Also, yeah, my mom ain't no joke, y'all. She ain't no joke. She ain't no joke, boy. If my mom opened up a restaurant, that thing would be packed every day. Slam. I guarantee Equimedius wouldn't be talking about with his brother Amira a bad eating experience. Went to LA and I was hungry every day because all they had is Mexican food and I don't like Mexican food. I couldn't wait until I got back home. Well, I'm a big fan of Mexican food, Linda. I actually like it. I like taco spots. You know, I mean, I know they real big on In-N-Out Burger out there, but man, New Orleans is just random food spots. Like you can go somewhere and you just think, man, I'm just gonna get something to eat. New Orleans is one of those places that if you like real big on aesthetics, you probably not gonna have a good eating experience. You just not, because some of the best places they're not aesthetically pleasing to the eye. They're in the hood. So if you're looking at it like, I don't know about that, but when you walk out that thing, man, you're gonna be like, man, I got to go back there again. It's just what it is. There's some really good underrated cooks in New Orleans. Everybody don't get that opportunity to be working at them 5-star restaurants that's uptown in the Garden City area. You just don't. But they for darn sure cooking it up with their hot sauce on French. They cooking them shrimp po' boy plates in the back. And they ain't stingy with the shrimp now. Now, some of these places, I ain't gonna lie. Now, one thing you can say about New Orleans, they are not stingy with the seafood. I go to seafood restaurants around here, which is an embarrassment to say the least. I'm sorry, Myrtle Beach, but y'all need to do better. Give you about 4-5 shrimp. Like in New Orleans, man, you have shrimp rolling all up off of your plate. Plate so packed, they got to put a rubber band on. They got to put a rubber band in that thing to hold that thing down, man. They giving you them, you know, Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church portions around here, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? Y'all know how it is, man. Y'all ever went to a church program and then after church, you know, they give you them little small portions after church. refreshments will be served. Well, unless you're my grandmother. My grandmother used to pile your plate down. You know, when refreshments were served, that soul-saving refreshments were served. But at these other places, small plates. I'm talking about you have to put a rubber band around your seafood platter plate to hold that thing down. And y'all talking about y'all got better food. Man, please. If I can count my shrimp, I can eyeball it. I can't eyeball shrimp in New Orleans. I can't. I got a seafood platter. I got a platter. Shrimp falling all off the plate. They ain't like them little shrimp that you get in that bag out there at Kroger or Walmart. I promise you, like, I know we talking about food, but equal media St. Brown, like, this is a topic. Like, somebody probably rolled in, like, man, when we supposed to be talking about sports? Yeah, we talk about sports, but equal media St. Brown, the wide receiver for the Saints, felt like he didn't have a really good eating experience in New Orleans. So that's why I know somebody probably rolled up here. Why are you talking about seafood plates and supper plates being rolled up and rubber? Like, I promise you that there's a method to this madness. Milwaukee has a sandwich shop on 16th and North, which is a very dangerous area. People still come from all over the place during the day to eat. I only went to Milwaukee one time. And that was I stayed like right down the street from, I guess it was the Bradley Center at the time. I can't remember anything that I ate. I think I went to the mall down there and ate something. I can't remember. Go to Jack Dempsey restaurant to get the super seafood platter. Yeah, man, I'm a Cajun seafood guy. Like, I promise you, when I touch down New Orleans, before I see anybody, before I see my brother, no disrespect to him, I know he's watching this right now. I love him. But I stop at Cajun Seafood on Claiborne, and I get myself a seafood platter. I feel like as much as I shout out Cajun Seafood today, I feel like I deserve a check. But I'm telling y'all, if you in New Orleans, go to Cajun Seafood down on Claiborne. First off, that mug be packed soon as you walk through the door. And if you can get past the fact that you're gonna be in line for a few minutes, get that seafood, that shrimp and fish platter. My goodness. Y'all already know, like, shoot, when y'all hear me touch down, y'all already know where I'm gonna be at. So when I send a tweet, I guarantee you went to Cajun. Don't guarantee, you know for sure. What they say, one thing for certain, two things for sure. I'm falling up in Cajun Seafood. You can go to a hole in the wall and get the best meal in your life. Yep. Everybody's saying that. So we all on the same page. We're on the same page here. If the shrimp ain't falling off my po' boy, I don't want it. Yeah, man, like, be stingy with the portion. Somebody say, man, shoes. Yep. Man, look, man, y'all know what y'all talking about. I don't need to tell y'all folks this. I hope Equal Medias, I hope you're watching this show, man. Like, I hope you just roll past there and, you see the topic and say Saints wide receiver, this is New Orleans food. And I'm pretty sure we talking about you. So I hope we help you out here, man. I hope we help you out. Somebody need to tweet Equal Medias and just give them some spots. Hold the mayo and my boy, that boy didn't hold back, man. That man took it personal, like Jordan. When your plate leaning, that's when you know it's good. Look, if it's leaning, if it's dripping, if the bag greasy, you got some food. Because that means them fries gonna be off the chain too. Robert Griffin says, sometimes you have to go to the gas station. When I'm in town, my first stop is Danny and Clyde for the high size. Yeah, I went to Danny and Clyde last time I was in New Orleans. Man, them people looking at us so crazy, man. And my mom, she can attest to this. We went down to Danny and Clyde, and we started giving them orders. Them people like eyes got wide, like, dang, I gotta make all this. Like, yes, you do. We was out there with foot-long po' boys, and we was like, y'all having a party, huh? Like, shoot, no party. Yeah, but Danny and Clyde, that hot sauce was off the chain, man. It was off the chain. Shouts out to Danny and Clyde, man. We went to the one over there where was that, Old West Jeff at? Let's see. TJ, I lived in Dallas after Katrina. I went to a restaurant advertising po' boys. I asked them how many shrimp are on their sandwich. They said 6. I said, like you know what I'm talking about. If we can eyeball it, like I'm telling y'all right now, I tell you no fibs. If I go to a restaurant and just like Kathleen said, if I look at the menu and it says 6 shrimp and then they have the price right there, I'm out. If we not random drawing these shrimp, I don't want it. And I lived in Dallas for a couple of years, man. I mean, I lived in Dallas 5 years. Yep. I mean, Dallas got some pretty decent eating spots too, man. I know a lot of people go to Sweet Georgia Brown out there. Everybody, people go to Sweet Georgia Brown on Sundays. That used to be my spot right there, Sweet Georgia Brown. Good soul food spot right there off Lancaster. Yeah, I was in the slum. I stayed in the hood when I was out there, Oak Cliff. Then I was like, nah, I gotta move to Carrollton. Your New Orleans native Boosie beat his case. Fun fact: Boosie is so popular in Milwaukee that he considered the mayor of Milwaukee in the hood. Yeah, man. Look, everybody like Boosie. Everybody love Boosie, man. Everybody got no problem with him. I'm pretty sure he ain't as popular as Cuckoo Cal is. I would think Cuckoo Cal would be the mayor of Milwaukee because that's the only rap I ever heard come out of Milwaukee was Cuckoo Cal. Let's see. New Orleans po' boys still be having shrimp left after you finish eating. Yep. Man, be having shrimp all in the bottom of the bag. Shrimp all in the bottom of the bag. What is Equimedius doing, man? He went to Danny. No, he didn't go to Danny. Went to Dragos. Had them ran over oysters, man. Come on, man. What we doing? Man, we out here. What are we eating? Man, what that boy eating, man? Yeah, TJ, Oak Cliff is definitely the hood. Yeah, Oak Cliff. Yeah, we was out here. We was on the other side of 35. You know what I'm saying? We was on the other side. We was on the other side of Highway 75. Excuse me, Highway 75. We was on the other side of 75. Matter of fact, we was off 35. Yeah, we was over there. When I seen Kathleen, when I seen 635, I was like, God, thank you, Jesus. Yeah, man. The last place I stayed in Carrollton, Texas. That wasn't that far from Frisco. So that's why I stayed. The last apartment that I stayed in was over there off the George Bush Turnpike. Like I can literally walk down the street and be under the George Bush Turnpike. Let's see. It'll take a few more, then we'll get up out of here, man. Know a lot of people. We're about less than an hour away from the launch of College Football 25. I'm really excited about that. Look like it's about to rain here. So might be playing it early because I can't cut the grass if it rains. Has it been raining where y'all been at? Areas where y'all from? Has it been raining? Because it's been raining every single day out here, man. We're supposed to go to we're towards the end of the show, man. So we just talking right now. Went to like we were supposed to go to a sunflower festival over the weekend. Couldn't go because it was raining. Couldn't go. So we ended up seeing Despicable Me 4, which was a good movie. Took Paxton there. It was his first 3D experience. That was pretty cool.
Daddy?
Yeah.
I'm really getting hungry.
Okay, that's why we got to end the show. See all the food talking. Now y'all got my boy hungry. We up here talking about po' boys and shrimp sandwiches. Now my boy just buzzed out, Daddy, I'm hungry. Carrollton is in the suburbs. Yeah, it was a nice area, man.
Is your natural Daddy?
Iowa. Yeah. Hold on, Pat. We have to finish it up. But my closing remarks is, number one, Equimedius. Come on, man. Like, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Don't just go to some of these chains that people just know about. And who you talk to? It probably was somebody that wasn't with the team long. Talk to Cam Jordan. You know, like talk to DeMario. You know what I'm saying? Like talk to AK. You know, talk to some of them cats that be out here, you know, that's been on the team for a while. Man, don't be talking to somebody that don't know nothing. Well, I stopped at there. It was at the Riverwalk. You know, like, come on, man. Let's find somewhere for this man to go so he can put some respect on New Orleans cuisine's name. All right. And also with Marshon Lattimore, speaking of putting some respect on the name, put some respect on the name of Marshon Lattimore. Stop trying to play this man. This man is one of the best cornerbacks in the league. I think we already know that. They need to stop playing. Anybody that made that list, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get them clicks and likes by putting big market players in the top 10. But at the same time, don't do it at the expense of Laddie Daddy because your boy is legit. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Once again, my name is Timothy J. Jones. Please subscribe to the channel, youtube.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. Check out previous episodes here on YouTube if you're new to the channel. Also, check out the Gumbo Pot Sports podcast. You can come on, man. We're at the end of the show. All right. Gumbo Pot Sports podcast, that's available on YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I'll go ahead and put that link down in the comments once again so everybody can get that. We're talking 32 teams in 32 days. We just put a video out about the Buffalo Bills. Check out the other episodes. Go ahead and help that channel grow. And really do appreciate everybody here. Much love to you. Shouts out to everybody in the comments. Happy College Football 25 Day. And like always, all we got to say is...
Toodle! Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.